All right, let's do this. I'm hitting the button. We're doing the thing. We're getting diggy with it. I don't know why I said diggy instead of jiggy with it. I'll just say words. I don't think about them, guys. Hey, everybody. Welcome to bonus content.
Hello.
It's me, Alex, and Tony and Scott are here to build our way to the top of this high-rise apartment.
Yeah.
What's up with Black Desert Online, Tony?
I was saying we could talk about it during the show.
Okay. But what if I just really don't want to talk about Black Desert Online during the show?
Okay, fair. There's this new Black Desert Online private server that's launching pretty, and you know your boy's on that shit.
Oh, yeah. But is it good? Like, did they fix the problems with it in this private server?
But like, instead of just taking like some multipliers to all of the rates in the game, which is what lazy other private servers do, they'll just be like, "Hey, you get 8 times experience from everything. Have fun." And like drop rates increased by 7 times.
Dude, nice.
They actually like have gone through and tuned every different kind of monster and stuff in the game to work. It's somewhere between 4 and 5 times, but it's individually balanced per thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some differences. So like some places will be that used to not be as good as other places, may be more competitive now. So not everybody who's in a specific range trying to grind has to go to the best space. There are other places, because there will be less shards of this server than there will be for the main retail one, which has like the 25 shards.
Nice.
There's that, and then like they're kind of staggering when the content comes out. Like while it is a private server that's running off of the Korean server, which is the only one that's going to do it, so they'll be able to release content from the Korean server months before North America gets it. Like the new class that's coming out, North America probably won't get it for like 4 months or so after Korea.
6
or 6 or 8
months.
or a year, who knows. We'll be able to have that immediately if they want to do it that way. This like stuff like that, and the way that they're kind of letting content roll out at the beginning, they're kind of staggering the release, so it's not just everything that's available immediately. Like when the game first launches, which it just finished its beta last week, so it's coming out pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
When it launches, you'll only be able to get to level 55, which is right before Awakenings, and your max enhancement on gear is only plus 15. So it will, give people, let people actually experience like this is the game before Awakenings. Then they'll roll stuff out and let people kind of progress the way that the game would have like gone in the normal experience, but at an accelerated rate.
Yeah, but like at a fun rate where you don't feel like you're losing your soul to the game.
I mean, still going to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they're doing that. They're doing some stuff that other private servers can't do. Like none of the other private servers have ever been able to figure out how to get trading to work because of how complicated the algorithms and stuff are that run the multipliers for trading and make it worth doing. But the devs for this server are completely redoing it and fixing it, which is what's taking a lot of the time since beta and now to kind of get that working. So if they get that working, it'll be the only private server that has all of the systems in the game actually working, which bodes well for how they'll work on things that don't work in the future and be able to implement stuff. So it's interesting, and I definitely want to be around, try it out, because I do really like Black Desert. I just hate a lot of the things about Black Desert and what they've done to it.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Are you gonna get in on that, Scott?
No.
All right.
It's that plus like they have a way of getting the in-game currency that you could buy for real money for free. Like you can get like 800 a day for free by doing some daily quests, which makes it so you don't have to spend money to play the game efficiently, which is great because I don't want to spend money on that game ever again.
Yeah.
Like I thought about playing the regular game again, but then I was like, oh, I'd have to buy a value pack to play this. Fuck this. Never doing it. So having a way to get that stuff for free over time is way better than having to spend money on it.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, so we'll see how it could just be another dumpster fire. Who knows? But it's interesting, so I'm definitely gonna check it out. How's Gus?
He's so loud right now. Anytime like my brother's not home on a Saturday night, Gus gets so fucking lonely. He just comes and hangs out with me.
He's like, dude, pet me.
Dude, I need this. I fucking need this so bad. How excited are you guys for Extra Life? What's your temperature gauge?
Oh, by the way, I can't make Extra Life this year.
Great. Nice. Everyone's dropping out at the last minute. This is great. Really or no?
But for real, yeah, I can't be there.
Could you be there for some amount of the time?
Maybe.
Okay. You should come
But-
for some amount of the time.
I don't know.
I know you have work on Sundays. And I know that's
So that's not even part of it.
okay.
It's just there's some other stuff going.
I have to figure out my work thing for that weekend as well. It's just very stressful today. Then I've been sick all day. I've had a fever all day. What about you, Scott? Give me an excitement gauge.
Before Extra Life?
Yeah.
Is it happening yet?
It's happening soon.
Okay, I don't think the excitement gauge exists yet.
Okay. It's 2 weeks from today, which I realized this morning, and it gave me an anxiety attack almost. But I think it'll be fine. I don't think things will be as complicated as they were last year. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You should do what you can to be there, Tony. I wouldn't want you to miss it.
I'll see what I can do, but it's very unlikely.
I understand life happens, but I know it's important for you as well. But yeah, it's just not a lot to stress about necessarily yet. I'm just thinking about what would you guys want to do for food? We can't have a French Canadian woman cook for us this year, so and how much Domino's can we eat in one day? That's the real question.
All of it, probably.
Well, probably all of it, actually. We probably buy that Domino's out. But that might be logistically the best choice. We'll see. I am really excited for Mario Party. That's going to happen. If you are there for any amount of time, Tony, we're going to save that for when you're there. Because I've been watching the Game Grumps play Mario Party, Super Mario Party. The game seems all right. But how's your week been outside of that, Tony? Outside of Black Desert Online?
Well, I actually haven't played any of it.
I know, but you're wired to the updates.
Yeah. I joined the Discord server. I'm part of the conversation.
Yeah, exactly. Did you get any shenanigans?
No. Just pretty basic week. I went to work, came back from work, played Call of Duty.
Blops. You blopped it up.
Yeah, became a blopser.
You dropped a hot blop on them.
Played a lot of League of Legends.
Mm-hmm.
And slept. It was pretty nice.
Oh, sleep sounds so nice.
Mm-hmm.
I've been running into this thing. I think it might be because I'm sick, where I didn't feel well Thursday. Thursday. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna come home from work. I get off at 7. I'll just go right to bed. I'll turn in early. Have to get up at 8 in the morning. It's fine. I'll be able to sleep for 12 hours or something. And then I went to bed at around 8. And I woke up at 2 in the morning and did not fall back asleep. Tried to fall back asleep until 7 in the morning. And I woke up at 8 when my alarm went off. And I was like, boy, this backfired. This plan didn't go as well as I'd hoped. So I felt terrible all Friday. And then I was like, all right, I get off at 6. I'll come home. I'll go right to bed, get some sleep. Fell asleep around 7-ish. Woke up at 11:30, and I was like, I hate my life and I hate everything. And eventually, I think I got back to sleep. But that's when I had a fever, and I was like, this is all terrible. I got to drug myself down. Let me find the NyQuil.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the NyQuil at? But yeah, sleep sounds nice. Do you on your days off, Tony? Do you just let yourself sleep till whenever?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
I end up staying up pretty late on days before I have the day off.
Yep. Me too. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't care.
It'll be people will be like, hey, you want to do this zombies thing that's going to take 5 hours? I'll be like, what day is it? Do I have work tomorrow? No. Yeah, I'll stay up till 5 a.m.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. I have tomorrow.
And then I go to bed,
No.
and then I'm like, I wonder when I'll wake up, and not set an alarm. And then I'd wake up and look at my phone, and it's 3:46 in the afternoon. I'm like, all right.
All right. We did all right today.
Here we are.
Yeah, it's exactly what I do too. But Scott, what about you? How's your week been?
Good. Same me except for today.
Okay. What'd you do today? Did not work.
Took apart the electronics downstairs and put it back together.
Nice. Did you
So,
learn? Did you learn something in that process?
no,
Okay.
it was just some work.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So the reason for this is next week the couches come in.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, the basement still hasn't been fully put back together. But next week when the couches come in, that's when it'll be done.
Yeah,
Finally.
that sounds all right.
So to celebrate my dad getting the TV for the basement.
Okay. You had to get
Hell
everything
yeah.
set up.
Yep.
4K, the whole blowout.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Whole blowout.
Dude,
A decent
that's-
size bigger than the last
thing's
one.
gonna happen.
Yeah, just pull somebody in your basement and make them play Dead Space now and see how
Only
they
the
react.
best of the best for Scott's dad.
Yeah. Nothing but the best. That's good. I like that commitment.
So he also decided, you know what? I want an Xbox One X. We picked
What?
those up too.
All
I'm
right.
pretty sure my last memory of your dad was when we went into your basement and he was like, "What are you guys doing?" We were like, "Playing video games." He's like, "Oh, nerd shit," and we were like, "Yeah." Now he's like, "I'm all about the nerd shit."
No, I feel like Scott's dad has always been about the nerd shit. He just has a funny way
Secretly
of going about
about the nerd shit.
it. No, he likes, he's got a nice TV, nice surround system. My dad's like the same way, so I respect it. He's like not all the way in, but he's in. He's here.
Yeah.
to have a
So
good time.
he wants it because the smart TVs he's had before had to have a bunch of extra add-ons to get a bunch of the new shit to work.
Mhm. So he's like, I want a true 4K 6 teraflops.
He basically wants the true all-in-one box top.
Mhm. That is the Xbox One, I guess.
That is the Xbox One. The only real shame here is that they kind of broke it when they took the Kinect out of commission.
Yeah.
And instead of just not forcing it down everybody's throats,
Yeah, that functionality is
it's
just
like
gone.
you could have just not forced it down everyone's throats and then just kept it in there.
Had it been like an optional accessory that's like nice.
Basically, because now it's if you want the voice commands to work right, now you have to go through a bunch of extra hoops and it's not as good.
Yeah, I agree. When they when they were still trying to support it and they like switch it over to Cortana and they changed all of like the voice commands, I was like, man, this is dumb, and I ended up turning it off. And then obviously the Xbox One X doesn't have a port for the Kinect. You have to get an adapter for it. And I was like, all right, cool. I guess when I went to like trade in my original Xbox One to get an X, they were like, we actually just don't even take the Kinect. I was like, all right. I was hoping to get like maybe $10 for it. And they're like, it's garbage and you can take this right out of here. So it's like just sitting on my floor.
Like that's the sad part. It's as far as the all-in-one box top thing, it had that going for it with the Kinect on it.
Yeah.
Because the original voice commands were great.
Yeah, they were.
And,
I used them.
Right. And so was weirdly enough, so was the facial recognition shit.
Yeah, it was like surprisingly good.
It was surprisingly good and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
It just they didn't go the mile for the games for it.
Yeah.
So everybody was saying like, what the fuck?
To be fair, I bet they have some numbers of like how many people actually have a Kinect hooked up to their Xbox, and they probably just weren't high enough for them to want to support it. It's still a bummer though. Like that stuff where you could pick up a controller and turn it on, and the Kinect would like look at the controller, turn it on with the IR blaster, and then look at the person and then sign them in automatically by recognizing their faces. Like that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
NATO is in our live chat and he says hi and he loves all of you
What's
guys.
up, dude?
Hey,
He's at PAX Australia right now.
Shit.
And he says, "Congrats on nearly 400 episodes. We're almost there. It's $3.99. We have no special plans. The guests that we wanted to get, I reached out to. They never got back to me, Tony. I'm sorry. I did
we
try.
expected that.
I did kind of expect it, but I was hopeful. I was optimistic. But I just listened to All Systems Goku, and it got me through the week anyway. You know what I mean? Let me see. Did I do anything this week? I pet my cat. My cat's right over here, just freaking out.
The whole week gone.
Yeah, it was the whole week was just me and Gus hanging out, going on adventures. I got new headphones. I'm wearing them right now. I got a new pair of Astros.
They're so dark.
They're very dark. Like when I looked at them online, I was like, man, they have like a gold trim to it. I was like, oh, these look real stylish. But it is like far sleeker in person. I was happy to say. I have this like little microphone attachment too that makes me look like a star commander.
They look like mine.
Yeah, they're the A40s. I think they're like one generation newer, but they're pretty much the same. But I like them a lot.
Mine are old as fuck. So,
hey man, don't talk about your headphones like that. That's rude.
they're so old that I've super glued the top onto them again, like twice.
Nice.
Because like that pad in the middle of the two things at the top, yeah, you're doing the same thing I'm doing right now. It's held in by like two plastic clips.
Yeah, I think they changed
one of them broke, and then it came out of the other one. So I had to put it back in one side, then super glue the other. Then the side that wasn't super glued broke. So I had to take the whole thing out and then super glue it back. So I've super glued it twice, and it works now.
Nice.
Yeah, 2 applications of super glue fix you right up.
Fix you right up, right, Gus? I was in this weird spot. I was gonna get these really nice Sony headphones. Turns out they don't come out until next week, but
Your whole week ruined.
I know. Ugh. Well, I mean, to be fair, like my other headphones are like completely unusable now. I have like some stand-ins, but I was gonna get them. But the thing is, like, I wanted to kind of use them for the same reason, or the same way I use my headphones now, which is like I listen to music with them. I also like get on PSN or whatever with them, plug them into my controller and whatnot. And the Sony headphones didn't have a microphone, so if I was going to use them, they would just be for this, for listening to music, et cetera, for traveling, which they would have been very good for, but I would be switching. I put them out of reach. I'd be switching back to like these SteelSeries headphones that I've been using for playing games online, and they're kind of uncomfortable. So I decided I'll just do it's $100 cheaper, so I'll just do the Astros and kind of get the all-in-one that I need. And they've been really good. I've been playing. Talk about it a little bit later. I've been playing Red Dead with the headphones on, just to kind of see how the little mix amp they give you and how all that's been treating me. And it's been really good so far. So, I'm a big fan, but I would say like there's no noise canceling. You run into the kind of like the same issues that I did with the last pair. But I am like I don't necessarily need noise canceling or whatever. It's nice for when I travel, but 5 or so times out of the year, I don't think it'll make a $120 difference.
How else are you gonna ignore that baby right behind?
Fucking baby just screaming at the top of his lungs. But yeah, it was basically like the Sony WMX 1000 Mark II or something. They have like some ridiculous name, but they're $100 more, or like $120 more. So, NATO in our chat says, "All right, I better get back to the convention. Get Audio Technica next time. Best in the biz. #plug. I think NATO is a shill.
Yeah,
I had one of those before, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Is your microphone Audio Technica?
Yes. I also had headphones like it.
Yeah,
the microphone's very good.
Yeah.
All right. It's not very good, but it's good.
It's good. I think it's good.
But I mean, it's not at the same time. It's not like it's a fancy mic.
No, it's not like a mixer mic or whatever, but it's good.
No.
Yeah, Audio Technica makes good headphones. They're usually like very, very expensive though. Like in the $400.
We just got to get a full setup of ribbon mics for everybody.
There you go. That's the goal. That's the plan.
That's the gold standard right there.
Gold standard. Get some lapel mics maybe. Hook one up to Gus so people can hear him purr.
Yeah, and put a camera on the back of his head.
Oh yeah. So he's just like the Gus cam.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gus Cam. We'll have to implement that. The thing is, like, we're gonna be in a different house.
And Gus isn't coming with.
I'm thinking about just bringing Gus with us. As like, we need a mascot. We had Portillo last year. We do need some kind of animal support structure.
I got a Morgana plush.
I do too.
Isn't that what you're for?
Yeah, sure. I'm the wild animal with a T-shirt on that will support us emotionally. Let's get the show started. Let's talk about some video games. You guys got your Audacities up?
Yep.
Hold on.
You're good.
I'm still dealing with the last week thing.
Out here dealing with shit. Dunking on fools.
I think I can just ignore it for now. Yeah, you're good.
Okay. Make sure my stuff is good. Check, check, check. Cool. Check, check, check. All right. On one. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We did it. Proud of you, Tony.
I know we're here. We made it.
We made it. We did it. I didn't pull any news for this week, unless you guys got any news. Fuck the news. Burn the news to the ground. We'll do a news blowout for next week or something.
Burning it to the ground.
Hold on.
Yeah.
That's a bad idea.
No, we're not going to do news blowout. Or burn the news to the ground.
Because next episode is both pre-Extra Life show.
Yes.
And we always do something for that.
Mm-hmm.
Extra Life. I forget what it is at this point.
Something. We'll get people excited.
Right. And then it is also episode 400, which generally also has some sort of shenanigans coupled with that.
Yeah. No,
I mean, 6-hour show.
6-hour show, yeah, but no news. It's Tony's dream come true.
We could not 6-hour show and drop the news.
Yeah, I think we'll probably drop the news. There hasn't just... It's been a lot of, like, difficult for, like, us to talk about news. Like, I don't necessarily think we could have, like, a big discussion about delays, release dates, things like that. Sometimes I'll work those in. But...
Oh, man, I was really looking forward to X title that was released, or will be released in X additional days.
Let me tell you about Days Gone being delayed till April.
Like, man, I had this burning desire to play Days Gone on the day of release, and now all the days between the day of release and the day that it will actually come out are now days gone.
Those days are gone. Oh my God, it was their plan all along.
How dare they?
How dare they? All right. It is Saturday, October 27th, 2018, and you are listening to the Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 399. I'm Alex O'Neill, and joining me this week, we have Scott Guthier.
Hello.
And the beautiful man himself, Tony Horvath.
Why would you do this to me?
Because I can feel your cheeks getting all red and you getting all embarrassed and whatnot. And joining me on the couch, Gus the cat. He's here too, providing emotional support.
He didn't meow on command. He's fired.
He's fired. Gus, you're out. You're no longer a host. Brian Option Jackson, not here today. I would say this. If you got a moment, go up on the Instagram, search for Nobtion186 on Instagram. Send that boy some good vibes.
Just double tap on everything there.
Just double tap, heart everything. He's going through a bit of a rough time, and he can't be here right now, but he should be here next week. He'll be here for Extra Life. and just send him some good vibes. If you, listener at home, could, I would appreciate it. Welcome to Irrational Passions Podcast. It's a video games podcast. I have a feeling this is going to be a short show tonight.
It's all right. Sometimes you need it.
Which is all right, I think. Yeah,
It's the calm before the storm.
Tony's going to get me his audio from last week's episode.
No. You got another 2 weeks before you get that. I sent it via snail.
The 1 week I actually catch up on editing the podcast, I don't have all the audio.
Dude, I printed out the waveform from my audio and I mailed it.
He mailed it to me. Snail mailed it to me. I got it. I'm going through like pages and pages of letters because it's a 3-hour show. And I'm like, what is this? What does it mean? I'm like all posted it to a board.
The entire middle section is just a solid like one little line going down the middle. You're like, oh, I got this.
Oh, I know what this is. I'm like pinning it to a cork board.
This must be when I was talking about video game.
Yeah, it must have been that
several hours mid podcast.
That's not true. I didn't talk about video games.
Meanwhile, you speculate what's on the snail mail. The snail gets eaten.
So yeah, the snail. Yeah, Gus eats the snail. It's all falling apart. But yeah, we're here. We're talking about video. We're about to talk about video games in just a moment. Before we get started, some housekeeping, some keeping of the house. First and foremost, Extra Life is in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from the day that we were recording this. November 10th, 2018, we will be loading up into a house, someone else's house, and we're going to be playing video games for 24 hours. I think right now the plan is 11 a.m. to 11 a.m. A little bit, we usually do noon to noon, but one person has a flight cutting it a little close on Sunday, so we're going to try and do an hour early. 11 a.m. to 11 a.m., we were going to be live streaming video games. I started putting together the schedule this last week, and it's very exciting. Some exciting stuff. We're going to be playing some video games. We're going to be making some pizza with some kind of candy on it. We're going to probably make a lot of really horrible jokes around 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're going to yell at each other a lot. So I think that's going to sum it up. It's going to be a great time. We are playing games to raise money for Children's Miracle Network of Hospitals. So if you tune in, we'll have a link that you can go to donate for the cause. We would really appreciate it. And we would really love you for it. And all those kids out there you'll be helping would really love you for it. So there will be a page up sometime this week on irrationalpassions.com/extralife. That will be all of the info that you need. It might not be up exactly when you hear this, but it should be up by Friday, like the November 3rd or whatever day Friday is. So tune in for that. That's the only big piece of housekeeping that I really want to emphasize. Twitch.tv/irrationalpassions is where we're going to be live. And hopefully I'll be okay emotionally during it. We'll see. Some other bits.
It's always a toss-up.
It really is. Some other bits of housekeeping. Only thing that went up on the site this week was the second episode of our Dead Space 2 video game book club. So we're playing through Dead Space 2. You can play along with us. This episode covered us playing from Chapter 6 through Chapter 10, kind of the midpoint of the game. It's a big, meaty episode. I had a good time with Dead Space 2. I've since finished it, and we've recorded the last episode of the book club. But if you want to hear our thoughts on it, it's really weird, like the ways in which Dead Space 2 holds up and the ways in which it really doesn't. Like, I think in my head, I had it flipped on what those two would be. But it ends up like it plays really well still. Checkpoints are like really well done and pretty modern. Things like that I think we take for granted in modern games are like still really good. Dead Space 2 came out 2011, same year as Skyrim and Skyward Sword, which I had forgotten. Like that's the kind of games that came out around it. But yeah, we've been having fun. It's the first time Scott White has ever played a Dead Space game, and he's been enjoying it. So worth checking out. And like I said, you can play along with us. You can just watch the show. It's on YouTube. It's on the website. It's a good time. And we recorded this month's episode of Podcast Ultimates. We recorded the last episode at Dead Space 2's book club. I've since chosen the book club game for next month, which is really fun. It's going to be a bit shorter, which is fun. It's nice considering it's the same month as Extra Life. Yeah, things are going good. IrrationalPod.com is the place to be. Let's talk about some video games. Tony,
Hello.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Blaps 4.
Blaps 4.
Blaps 4.
Where are you at with Call of Duty Black Ops 4?
So last weekend was double experience weekend, Black Ops. So we played Black Ops all, just straight multiplayer. And I got almost to my first level 48 out of 55, but only because I suck. Like I said, I get like less than half of the experience from a game than my other friends do who actually get killed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just there as like a cheerleader, basically. And I'll get like, I'll win for like revives or doing an objective. I'll get some experience and maybe I'll kill like 1 or 2 dudes a game, and that's fine with me. I'm cool with being shit at this game.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm almost to first prestige. They're like almost to third prestige. So it's been it was good. We had a lot of fun playing over the weekend. But anyway, once that happened, that event ended. I spent like the whole week of my time playing this game, doing the other modes in the game, like zombies and the blackout.
Zambos, as the kids call them.
Zombies is actually a lot of fun. There's like, I think last week when we talked about it, I was saying like I don't know if there's a final boss per se or something like that. Now I know.
Yeah,
there is a final boss and an Easter egg. That's what they call it, like to get to the final boss. So we were trying to do that, but it takes like, and that's kind of what I alluded to during the bonus content when I was saying like there's this really long thing that you can do to get to that point of progress. So we did that, and then we got to like the last round that you need to do that, and then we fucking disconnect at round like 50.
Jesus.
So 5 hours in, we disconnected almost like 80% of the way through doing this thing that takes forever. So we kind of stopped trying after that. We were like, fuck this.
Yeah, I see why.
But we've been playing the other zombie modes and kind of just going in. I've kind of solidified what I like in that game, like the setup that I enjoy, which is like the SDM sniper rifle and a rocket launcher. Because rocket launcher in this game, as I've been told, not unlike other previous Black Ops zombies, is actually worth getting. Especially on like the gladiator map, there are these gladiator zombies that come through with a bunch of armor, and if you pack a punch the rocket launcher, you can one-shot these guys all the way up to like round 40 with one rocket. And so if you're training a bunch of zombies, you can pretty easily just go in and turn around and blow up your entire train with one rocket, and let more zombies continue spawning. So it's really good, the rocket launcher. And then the SDM's really nice because it's one-shot headshot on zombies and it can pierce, so you get a lot of collateral kills.
Mm-hmm.
If you're training a bunch of zombies, you can just turn around, scope in. If you level up the gun, you don't have to have a sniper scope anymore. So you just scope in and headshot like 20 zombies on collateral damage, and then turn around and continue walking the zombies behind you.
Nice, dude.
So I think that those two put together is really good because it conserves a lot of ammo. It takes like one shot per thing to kill like 10 to 15 zombies. So as long as you're smart and don't get yourself caught out or like cornered, because if you get cornered, you don't have like that rapid fire thing to kind of push you like the zombies away from you. Then you end up in a really fine position. And you don't have to worry about buying ammo or getting max ammo power-ups to not run out. So definitely works. So we've been doing that.
There are multiple maps. Is there only the one boss fight on the maps?
So I'm pretty sure there's one in each one.
Okay.
The X map, which is I think it's supposed to be not like Roman numeral 9.
Yeah.
But we just call it X. Is good. That's the only one that we know how to do. I think it's the easiest one by far. The map in general is pretty easy. Like we don't even know how to turn on the Pack-a-Punch in the Blood of the Dead map. We know how to get the Pack-a-Punch in the cruise ship map, but it's considerably easier than the other one.
Yeah. There's a giant zombie mammoth, right?
Yeah, we haven't gotten to actually fighting it yet, but that is what it's about. Yeah.
Cool. I think that's really cool. I like that. It is like the kind of sub objective of that. We talked about this a couple weeks ago, but like the sub objectives of the maps, like where you're kind of building to something that has like
Yeah.
a mechanical payoff. I think that's really cool. I hope there's one for all the maps. Um, cool. What about Blackout?
Yeah, we actually have kind of played a lot of Blackout recently. We did zombies earlier on in the week, and then we just played all Blackout yesterday, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. Like like even worse at Blackout than I am at multiplayer because you only get one life. Where in multiplayer, so I'm just basically useless. Except every once in a while, I'll do something really rad. Like yesterday in one of the matches we were playing, we had cornered an enemy squad at the shooting range, which is like the middle of the map, kind of hot spot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was able to just like blind chuck a Molotov cocktail into the shooting range and kill 2 people.
Nice.
Like just right blind over the wall, like from downtown Kobe style, and just 2 people die immediately. And I was like, okay,
Yeah. Do you only play Blackout with a squad at this point?
yeah, there'd be literally no reason for me to go in by myself. I would just die and be like, well, that was a waste of time.
Yeah, I feel like the weird thing is like when I played the Blackout beta, I was like really impressed because like Call of Duty is like the lone wolf video game. I was really impressed with how well like it adapted itself to like a squad kind of game
For
mode.
sure, yeah.
But yeah, I had a lot of fun like the one time that I played Blackout playing with a squad and just kind of like rolling with people and like running as like a fire team. It was really cool. Cool. Have you won Blackout yet?
We've come in second place and third place a couple times.
Okay. Where would you put Blackout in your battle royale love affair overall?
It's the most interesting one right now, for
Okay.
sure.
Yeah. I think that's cool. Like I was genuinely surprised. I think there was definitely room for that to be like a real bummer, a real kind of uninteresting, very by the books mode, but I think they went out of their way to make it pretty cool. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're digging it. Anything else on Call of Duty?
Call of Duty, no, I think that's it. Like, I think that it's cool because I haven't touched Specialist Stories, which is like their fake attempt at continuing to have some sort of story to appease the people that were like, no, stop. Where they're like each of the 8 multiplayer specialists has their own like side that you play through as part of like a tutorial series to teach how the individual squad members' abilities work. Like the only one I did was when I first started, so I could learn the controls. I did the Ajax one, so it teaches you how to use his riot shield and stuff like that. But I haven't gone back into that yet. I think it's cool that it's there, but otherwise, yeah, I like all the modes in there. I think they're equally fun to play. So,
cool. That's good. Anything else you've been playing?
no, I don't think so. It's just been League and that.
Okay, cool. Scott, video games. What have you got?
Let's see. Beat Wizard of Legend,
Congratulations.
and I got a Chaos Arcana from it.
Nice.
And it's very good, but I'm very bad at it.
Okay.
So before I was kind of heavily relying on good RNG spawn to complete my build out. So a lot of, due to the way the game works, you get a lot of options to buy things. So it's easier to put together combos on the fly. So what you could do to try and get a win was you'd pick up all the items that had the most things that could have synergy with them. So your item set had a high chance near the end of the game to have a lot of synergy with itself.
Mm-hmm.
However, that the build is kind of boring because it's a run build. You run away for as long as you can, and you throw things behind you.
Yeah. Seems
So
kind of
it's not a whole lot of fun because there's a lot of room for you to run away.
what was the thing that you got for beating the final boss?
It's when you beat every time you beat the game, you get a new Chaos Arcana,
Mm-hmm.
which is I believe, actually I don't know how many there are, but this particular one, it throws out something that looks like an obsidian pillar. So
Nice.
it's black and purple. So when you have a time limit of something like 2 to 3 seconds to where you can run around, and when you activate it, it pulls things that are close to you into the pillar and it starts damaging it.
Oh, cool.
Right. So what I have set up is I have bolt rail still because I just like bolt rail, and then I have a frost spear. So what that does is that whenever you hit something, it it keeps it going until it hits a wall and it freezes things against the wall. So the combo works one of two ways. I can throw the pillar out in a place where I know they're going to be pinned to a wall afterwards, or I could pin them to a wall and then get close to them safely and then throw them into the damage.
Okay.
The big thing about this is this is not a runaway build. This is you have to get close to them build.
Yeah, it sounds like a risk reward type build.
Oh yeah, because this thing does 3 times the damage that the old signature Arcana did,
Mm-hmm.
just not to bosses.
Is it like? Would you say it's like mixing up how you want to play sufficiently enough though?
Oh yeah, already has.
Cool. That's good. It's good that like they are giving you
And then
stuff
it's
after you beat it to mix up how you want to
right,
play.
and the reason why I said I relied on RNG so much is kind of how the levels play out. I it's been a little bit because I beat it on Tuesday,
Mm-hmm.
but I am I am built to handle the fire area fine.
Yeah.
However, if I have the wood area, they have certain enemies that make this very difficult,
Yeah.
and they also make. And if I'm in the ice area, it makes the old build that I used to use also very difficult.
Okay.
So what I would do is I would essentially hope that I got the ice build first for the last one.
Yeah.
And this build can get around its weakness when you play right, but the other one it's much harder in the other one because what would end up happening is you wouldn't be able to kill things fast enough for you not to get swarmed. With this one, it doesn't matter if you get swarmed if you play right because you teleport everything away from you.
Hmm. I
Oh,
love
I
that
guess
risk reward.
also, yeah, I guess also if you got the wood one last in the other build, you kind of just lost because a lot of the enemies have a spell reflect. So if it's a
Yeah.
projectile, it goes back to you.
Yeah.
So all of my spells in the other build are projectiles. So I couldn't do anything except for melee them.
Mm-hmm. Is the melee like a punch? Is it a weapon?
Your melee is your basic arcana,
Mm-hmm.
but it's only most basic arcanas are melees.
Yeah.
I think they have a wood one that's a projectile, but basically it's you're getting within inches of them to try and hit them
Yeah. Yeah.
for the most part.
Playing with fire.
Yeah, so it was you. I just wouldn't use it often.
Mm-hmm. Understandably, I think that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. That's I like how you play Wizard of Legend is how I play like Spelunky, where I'm like I'm gonna just kind of hope I get something, or I hope I get the right roll later on. Um, generally, so I feel that I respect that. Um,
Um, well, that's the thing. You can set yourself up so you don't you don't really have to. You can pick up good items.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and generally it's RNG is in your favor if you do it that instead of searching for the synergy build.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's the when I won, I just got lucky.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I can pull it up, but essentially how I won was I had 3 damage reducing items,
Uh-huh.
which saved my life way too much. The first one is it gave you iframes after you got hit,
Yes, we
which,
talked about
as I
this
said
one.
before,
Yeah.
you normally don't get that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that makes the world of a difference. The second one I got is if you get hit by a spell, or the last 3 spells that you get hit by, do reduce damage,
Okay.
which is especially helpful for a boss
Yeah, I bet.
because you generally get caught by 3 of their spells because they only have 6. Generally, 3 of them are very easy to dodge. Another one of them is medium difficulty and 2 are hard. So it's the multi hits on those harder hits don't do damage, and then the initial hit does less damage after the first time you get hit.
Wow, that helps a lot. That is
Yep.
cool.
So there was that one, the invincibility one, and then there was the getting hit with I forget what it was, but it's getting hit consecutively starts to do less damage. So it was if you were still getting hit after the invincibility frames would wear off, the damage would be compounded with the spell memory,
Like the Street Fighter combo effect. I gotcha.
basically. So things would start when things would start hitting me quite a lot because he has a move where he pulls you in and then tornadoes you. The tornado started hitting for 1 damage
Okay.
instead of 10. Instead of essentially chunking you for 100 health, it chunked me for 10 in total.
Dang.
So that's how I beat the final boss. I got OP defensive items, and I got some pretty good healing items too.
I'd be really curious if you wanted to try it, what you would think of Dead Cells, because I know a lot of people. It's another one a lot of people were really into this past year. So similar to Wizard of Legend, another roguelike with some similar trappings of like items and power ups and whatnot that you get as you go through it. As with most roguelikes, I think you would dig it. It's very action oriented as well. It's very fast paced.
Depends on how fast it is.
It's pretty fast. I would say it's definitely not as fast as Wizard of Legend, which I feel like that's kind of its whole hook. But
It definitely is.
but I think it would definitely hit some of those marks for you. Once you get in a good rhythm of it. That's what at least people have told me. I don't think I had that experience with it, but I respect the grind of those other roguelike fighters out there who really dug Dead Cells. Have you been playing anything else, Scott?
Aside from some League, that's about it.
Okay. Scott, do you play Akali in League?
No.
Okay. Suck on that,
generally
Tony.
play mid-lane.
Scott plays weird Zerglings.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yep.
I respect that. Cool. I played some video games. I played more Assassin's Creed Odyssey. We talked about this last week. I was having I would say I'm still having some issues. I have issues with it in how it's just very like you have to hit a dude 100 times to kill him. There are more of those dudes than there are not, I would say. Like in any given encampment, you have like your regular guys, your heavies, which are like big kind of chubbier dudes that are more likely to do heavy attacks, which you can't parry. And then there are like captains like the different tiers of captains, like stronger and stronger captains. So like anyone that is a heavy dude or above, you're gonna be hitting with your sword like 20 times to kill, and that sucks. That's lame, I think. But like all of those normal dudes, you're hitting like maybe 5 or 6 times, which is still like the way that it looks and feels in the game, it still kind of feels like too much. But it is at least reasonable. So at this point, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, I've like the way I fight guys is I just like walk backwards away from them and shoot them with arrows because it is faster than and less annoying than like hitting them over and over again with my swords. So I've like basically stopped using my swords altogether. Which it's one of those things where I'm like just pissed off doing it the whole time because I'm like, if you had made this more enjoyable, I wouldn't have to break it like this. But I don't know if that's like the right sentiment. I think they kind of give you different skill trees and different tools so that you can do that. There's especially like different upgraded arrows and whatnot that you get that do massive damage in combat. So I don't know. It's just weird and it's just I feel like nobody's talking about it, and it feels like such a huge problem when I play it that it seems like something that is so hard to overlook. I don't know why no one else is talking about it. That's how much it stands out to me. It's one of those weird things, though. Maybe it's just a problem for me. Who knows? I'll never know. I'll never talk to another human about this game, so it's not true. But the story in Assassin's Creed, I think, is definitely picking up for me. I got to Athens. There are politics and politicking going on. I've faked a vote already, so it's just really representing the United States politics in Athens right now. So like, yeah, okay, this seemed, but like that's cool. Like I think, like I met Socrates. Or as they refer to him in the game, Socrates.
Socrates,
Mr. Socrates. It's weird because I think it's really cool as someone who took Latin for 3 years, like the way that they speak in English, but they will they'll say Latin words, like it's kind of like English Latin mix, like they'll refer to like a mother as a mater or a father as a pater. Which are the Latin words for mother and father. They'll kind of mix those in, which is something that they started doing in Assassin's Creed 2 with Italian, with Ezio and his kind of folk, which I think that's cool. I think the way they do it here is cool. I don't know what a Greek accent sounds like. I also don't know like what language. I assume they speak Greek in Greece, but I don't know what Greek sounds like. I don't think I've ever heard it spoken, but this is also far before then where they would be speaking Latin. And Latin is not a spoken language, it's a dead language. So people are kind of unsure of how it was.
Our fucking Latin teacher would kill you for saying that.
It's a dead language. People are unsure of how exactly it was spoken. I think they have pretty good assumptions about it, but obviously there's no one that was born and raised speaking Latin alive. No, sorry, Tony.
It's actually me.
Tony Horvath.
I only speak Latin.
Latin and Croatian. The only language.
Said at sub arbore, dude.
Let me tell you about the sub arbore under
Flavia,
this tree.
dude. She sits under that goddamn tree.
These are very specific references that only you and I get. I love it, but I do get it. Yeah, so it's one of those things where like everyone has a kind of like accent that kind of almost sounds like an Eastern European accent, like a Nico Bellic style accent.
Did they go bowling though?
No bowling yet, although I wouldn't be surprised if it worked its way into this story somehow. So like it's one of those things like language wise. I just it's not like related really to my feeling on the game. It's just I find it really interesting of how the characters speak and how they work in Latin and the accents that they have. Like there is this one island. Let me see if I can pull it up. Where I'm pretty sure every character said the name of the island differently. So every time I asked them, like, hey, where are we or something? Is like I don't know what fucking version of the name of this island I'm gonna get. It's like I think like Eurobia is how I would say it. But Eurovia, Eurobia, Upia, I think I've heard it in game said like all those different ways. So I'm like, I don't fucking know how this is said actually. But I think that's one of the kind of understandable problems you run into when you have like a game with a lot of words or languages that people just don't use anymore, and you're having voice actors say them. Like if they're not all getting the same direction, they're going to say them differently. So,
Sure.
But yeah, I have no idea. But I don't know. It's cool. Like the story's picking up. We're meeting those kind of more politically minded characters, and I think they are more interesting, more rewarding to talk to. They're giving a little bit more back. But I don't know. I really don't know where this story's going to go from here. But I'm in a better spot with it than I was last week, where I was like, I don't know if I want to keep playing this. Where like now that I'm using the bow more and I've gotten a little bit stronger, I'm having at least more fun with it. I also played more Shadow of the Tomb Raider. After I got like really frustrated with Assassin's Creed, at some point I booted that up. It continues to be very good. I didn't play that much more of it, but looks very good, plays very well. But that's not what anybody's here to hear about. They want to hear about Red Dead Redemption 2, which is a video game that I played. Y'all know I'm not like a huge Rockstar fan. So I would say like preface all of this with, hey, take whatever I think and feel about this game with a grain of salt. Like I think I am going to be more critical of it than most people, because most of the time the way Rockstar makes their games, I think they get a pass from a lot of people.
Yeah, because fucking nostalgia. You're like, oh, the first game I liked it because it was passable when it came out. Maybe this one will be good.
Nostalgia, like I don't know, that's not the word I would use. Like I think like Rockstar just has like this expected pedigree that like regardless of the quality of a game that they make, like people are they're not gonna hold it to the same standard. I genuinely believe that. I think like for example, Grand Theft Auto 5 is a game where the shooting and aiming and movement of that game are bad, but no one ever talks about that. Like all they talk about is the quote unquote very good story or very good writing, which I disagree with also, but that's more of a me thing. I recognize that. But I think the picking up and playing GTA 5 is not a super fun experience. But like no one ever brings up that angle of it. At least not in the conversations I've heard. So I think like
No, just me.
just Scott, Scott, me, we've had those conversations on the show.
That's really the problem I've had with GTA games forever.
Mm-hmm. Where they just don't play well.
It's not huge fans of the stories, and then they don't play well.
Mm-hmm. But again,
it's
like
one thing if you get through it with the story, because it's not they're not egregious.
Yeah.
But everything else is kind of better in that bracket.
Mm-hmm. And like I'm not saying this to like have everyone dismiss what I'm saying. I'm just saying like I'm bringing a different perspective to this game. I didn't play the first Red Dead Redemption. I played like a very little bit of it. I actually booted up this week just because I was like thinking about Red Dead 2. I wasn't intending on buying Red Dead 2, but I read a couple of reviews and I heard some things that really piqued my interest. So Red Dead 2 is a prequel to Red Dead Redemption, which came out in 2010, I believe. So it's been 8 years since that game came out. It is set, I believe, 12 years before Red Dead Redemption 1 was set. It takes place in 1899, I think. Forgive me if I fudged the numbers on that one. And you play Arthur Morgan, who is a cowboy, like an outlaw, a cowboy man. Yeehaw, yee howdy. I have not heard a single yeehaw in this game.
It's trash.
It's fucking garbage. I might have heard a howdy. So we'll start there, but I haven't heard a yeehaw. And you are part of the gang of one Dutch Vanderland, who is the kind of main antagonist of the first game. So obviously this is not new information to many folks that played the first game, but just to kind of set the scene. So I know a little bit about Red Dead, right? Red Dead 1, you play John Marston. He's a character in this game, for example. I'm not necessarily going to get into spoilers, but I've played like the first 4 hours of the game, so I'm going to talk about that, and if that's spoilers to you, like, fair warning. So, like, you know, he's a character, but he's not, like, central to this. It obviously takes place a long time before all that. It's, you know, it's a different beast. I'll say, like, my first impressions, like, my feeling going into it right now is I really like it, which is good. Like, as I've been saying with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I don't like to be the guy that doesn't like things as much. The game this reminds me of the most, which is weird because we got into so many arguments about it way back when, is The Last of Us, weirdly enough, which I know, like, any interest that either of you two had just evaporated. But the reason I say that is and other people have said this, and there are reviews out there that say it far better than I will, but it is a very deliberately paced game. It's deliberate in everything it does. When you go into a house and you're, like, looting the house, like, you have to press a button for everything that you pick up and put away. You have to press a button for every cabinet and every drawer you open. You have to do something to interact with every individual thing that you see or touch. It is slow. It is very slow. But I feel like it knows what it is. It is justifying what it is. It is trying to be more grounded, more realistic. And it is trying to use those mechanics to be more immersive. And I think it generally does a pretty good job. I know I've already seen, like, a lot of people say, like, boy, fuck all this on Twitter, which is fine. Like, I think, like, what's cool about this game is one of the kind of cultural things I really dislike about GTA 5 is that it is, like, a game making fun of everybody that is supposed to be for everybody, and everyone just kind of accepts it. And it rides the pedigree off of that, and Rockstar just kind of expects it to do well, and it just does by the very nature of itself. But Red Dead seems like a game that is, like, it's trying to do its own thing, and it's going to make people unhappy, and not everyone is going to like it, and they clearly wanted to make something different, and make something deliberate, and make something that they wanted to make. Not a game necessarily for everybody, but a game that they would be really proud of. And I think that's really cool. I think, like, it really speaks to me in that regard. So, like, when it's a very slow opening, it's about 2 hours before you really kind of get out and you can kind of go off and explore into the world. And you're in, like, what's even more so, those opening 2 hours, you're running from the law on this really snowy mountain. And so, like, you're moving slow everywhere you go. Everything you do is super slow. But it's, like, sucking you in, and it's really making you feel everything that you're doing. And I think it's really cool. Like, when you are aiming down sights and firing a gun, you have to pull the trigger to shoot, and then pull the trigger again to cock it back again to load your next bullet. Like, it's a very little thing, and it makes shooting slower, but again, more deliberate, and it more immersive in a weird way. And it feels good. Like, it feels good when you're aiming a rifle and you have to, like, cock it again. And you kind of can control the pace of that and can control what's going on. But yeah, I don't know. Like, there's, like, the obvious stuff. It looks incredible. Like, I'm playing on Xbox One X. It runs in native 4K, which is unbelievable. It looks great. It runs great. Like, graphically, it's almost completely in a league of its own as far as console games are concerned. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anything that looked this good, save for, like, on a micro level, The Last of Us, but this is, like, blown out, like, way, way bigger. And it is slow. It is methodical. Like, when you are hunting animals, like, you are following a trail, you are like pulling bowstrings and only being able to hold it for so long. You are aiming carefully. You can like call to an animal right before you shoot it to make its head like look up, and you can hit it. It's a lot of little stuff that's really cool. And I found like the story, the characters, like it's all pretty new to me still, but Dutch himself, who's kind of like the central figure, really, really good. Like his voice actor is very good. He's got this kind of like raspy wispiness to his voice that I don't think I've heard. It's very, very captivating. Like anytime he's talking, I'm like completely enthralled. And I like things like seeing Marston and kind of getting a little bit more of his story. And you don't play as the leader also, which I really like. You play as Dutch's right-hand man, Arthur Morgan. So like you fill this kind of role that I think is filled for you in most video games, especially like JRPGs. I think of something like Fire Emblem, Path of Radiance, where like Ike's right-hand man, this is a very specific reference, I know, but Ike's right-hand man, Surin, like he is like your guy and he gives you suggestions and whatnot. Like you are kind of that to another character, and kind of your tone and where you're at informs that character in a lot of ways. And it's cool to fill that role. Like I think they kind of let you live out that role in a really cool, immersive way. Which cool and immersive are my two words for Red Dead, I think. But yeah, it's they very much seed the things of like you can like Dutch is very charismatic and he's a leader and he pulls people in, but you can kind of see the seams in it. Like one of the big things, and it's such a small thing, but like I've seen it done in other media, and it's very well done here. You're coming in, two of your crew have disappeared, like you got separated from them, you don't know where they are, and you're like, one of your crew members died, you've lost two people, and many people got injured, so like you're coming into this pretty beaten down, and as you're leaving, and Dutch is like, you're gonna rob a train to kind of get enough money to get back out into the world and back on your feet. Dutch is leading the crew, and he's like talking in a way, like he's like lying, but in a way that like I think he himself believes it. He's saying like, yeah, like Mac and Sam are gonna come back, and those are the two people that got separated, and we're gonna be better than ever. And it's like, I know this kind of like manipulation. I know I've heard this before, but the way they're doing it here is so convincing and so well done. And that's just bolstered by like the performance behind Dutch. Like it's like that level of really, really powerful attention to detail, I think like informs Dutch's character so well, that he's like clearly in just a short amount of time just left a very powerful impression on me. So yeah, like the way he's like, you can kind of see this paranoia behind him. He's like, oh, why have you lost faith in me? But he says it like maybe one too many times, where it's like, okay, this isn't like just him joking. This is a very real fear that he's trying to play off as a joke. Things like that. So like the writing in this script and all that are very well done. But yeah, it is not a satire. It is not cynical in a lot of ways. It's very earnest and very genuine, and it is different than things that Rockstar has done before, and it doesn't play the same. Like I think like the aiming and shooting is still clunky, but it feels like contextualized in a way here that is better. And I think also the aiming and shooting is just generally a little bit better. So I think they set out to do something real different and real special with this. And so far personally, I've been very impressed with that.
Neat.
And I think that's cool. I came in with maybe the lowest expectations of anybody, and I've been having a good time with it. But I like the slow burn. So, but yeah, that's Red Dead. I'm trying to think. I might have played a little bit more Valkyrie Chronicles 4.
How about Destiny?
I didn't play any Destiny this week.
Hell yeah.
I'm still down to play with you, Tony, anytime you want to. But
Remember the last time I played Destiny?
yeah, dude, it was fun.
Still the last time I played Destiny.
I had a lot of fun doing that. Yeah, man, it's weird. I didn't have that personal realization until just this moment, Tony. I didn't play Destiny at all this week. But yeah, I'm like, I'm still trying to work my way through Valkyrie Chronicles. I'm just kind of at a really frustrating point with that game, but we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. And I think that's it. I think that's all I played. I've been playing Stardew Valley on the side a whole lot. This like kind of secondhand third playthrough that I've been doing as like my pre-bed game has maybe evolved.
Hold on.
Yeah.
So you've completed 2 playthroughs?
I've done my original PS4 playthrough, which went the first way I played it. I played it again at the beginning of this year on Switch, all the way through the end of year 2. And this is I started a fresh character a couple weeks ago. I mentioned it on the show, but I didn't spend too much time on it. But yes, because I don't know, I like the build up, which is like a terrible excuse for I like just putting 40 hours into a thing. It's fine. I like going from like a small farm to a big farm and going from the level 1 coop to the level 3 coop and the level 1 house to blah blah and building all the numbers up again. Tony knows. It's like you prestige, you get the numbers up again.
I haven't done it yet though.
I know. But yeah, this third playthrough of Stardew that I've been kind of just chipping away at on the side as like something I play on my Switch before I go to bed has gotten pretty involved. Let's say I have started to not just play it before bed and play it throughout the day or before we started this podcast or things like that. So Stardew Valley is very good. I want them to bring all the new stuff that they put on PC to the console versions. I think the plan is...
You'll never have mods, though, unfortunately.
That's fine. I can live without that. I think the plan is to bring all that stuff in multiplayer to the console versions.
But, dude, how else are you going to turn your scarecrows into Undertale characters?
Ooh, that is a good point. The loaded times between days on Switch is a little bit of a bummer. I've said that before, but it is still a little bit of a bummer. So maybe I'll jump up to that PC.
I mean, it could have been something like 8 hours between days,
You're right. It could have been a full night's sleep.
So why are you complaining when it's like 5 minutes at most?
I mean, to be fair, everything moves pretty quick in Stardew except for those load times.
All I'm saying is you're pretty entitled right now.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. But I didn't know about giant plants until today. Did you know about giant plants?
How do you feel about giant plants?
I was like, what the fuck is this?
How would you feel if they ate you?
I would feel real terrible. Y'all know about that, like internal fear of mine. So I don't appreciate this probing that you're doing right now.
What if they also chemically cut off your balls?
If they chemically castrated me, I'd be honest.
While they were eating you.
I'll be honest. I'd feel pretty betrayed.
This was only supposed to be one of my greatest fears.
Yeah, right. 1, this is rude. 2 fears at once. But also 2, I watered and fed you, and this is how you treat me, huh? Have either of you grown giant plants before?
No.
Okay. Do you guys know about them?
Absolutely.
Scott does. Tony, do you?
Oh
know?
wait. You mean like the things that are like 4 times as large?
Yeah, like the 9.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay.
I was like, hell yeah, this is great.
I like it. It was a thing. I was like looking on the Stardew Valley wiki, and it was like the pumpkins can turn into giant pumpkins. I'm like, what the fuck is a giant pumpkin? And then I clicked the page. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
So you didn't actually do it yourself?
No, I have not done it. I swear to God, if the first time I saw it in the game was in game, I would have freaked the fuck out. I would have started texting you guys like, "What?"
That's how I found it.
Yeah. I don't have like the 9x or 3x3 grids laid out, so
I had just a fucking blob, stuck a bunch of cauliflower in there.
Hell yeah!
Fucking giant cauliflower popped out, and I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
I like that you cultivate it with the axe too. It's just like a whole mess. It's great. But yeah, Stardew Valley is very good. I would love like an expansion pack to Stardew Valley. It's just like more stuff, more characters.
Or maybe a Stardew Valley 2.
Maybe. I don't want to. I don't want to get too greedy. I got Spelunky 2.
All right. How about we get extra greedy? We skip 2 and go straight to 3.
Stardew Valley 3 on the Nintendo Switch 2. That's all I've been playing though. We didn't play any news, so I don't see the point.
I got some Puzzle and Dragons news.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dude. Now is the best time to start playing Puzzle and Dragons.
Is it? What would I get out of it by playing right now?
So they're giving out over $100 in free in-game currency this coming month, and then the month. So
Yes.
it's this huge 6-year anniversary thank you, where they're going to give everybody a free 1 out of 3 of the new powerful cards that they're coming out with that you normally have to roll forever for.
Okay.
When you log in between the 1st of next month and the 31st of next month, you get 100 stones for free. Normally for $60, you can buy 85. And then from the next month, you get another 100. So 200 stones for free, which is ridiculous. Normally, they'll give you 1 a day, maybe. Then
you gotta wait for the other ones.
10 times experience out of this dungeon that's called Experience of a Lifetime. That's supposed to give you rank experience. So a level 1 account can be level 100 after doing the dungeon once. So all that stuff plus some extra stuff that's going on, like PAL Machine's gonna have a more bonus. It's if you're ever gonna make a pad account, now's the best time to do it for sure.
Yeah.
Then they got these really good events coming up that you could spend those 200 stones on.
Yeah, and if you play this game, you can at me in the Discord. We can do co-op together.
All right, I'm in.
Alex.
Let's do it. I'm just kidding. I'm not in.
No, you are. Anyway, but it's cool that we didn't. Japan got all that stuff, and I've been running Android emulator on my computer and re-rolling Japanese accounts on the Japanese pad for the past couple days, trying to get this chase rare out of one of the collabs that you get a free roll at for starting an account right now.
Mm-hmm.
To let that account start to get stuff, because Japan's getting all that stuff now. And they had a live stream yesterday for North America where normally we'd have to wait 2 or 3 months. They announced that we're getting all that stuff as well. So it's super neat that they're getting 7 of everything because it's their 7th year anniversary, but we're getting 6 of everything and the 200 stones and everything. So it's cool. There's a lot of neat stuff going on.
Okay.
So
that sounds cool for those pad fans out there. I respect that. But since I didn't pull any news, I don't see the point in taking a break. So how would you guys feel about taking a peek in the mail sack?
Okay.
Remember, you can be a part of the show in a variety of ways. You can tweet your questions at IrrationalPod. Just use the hashtag IPQ. You can... God, what are the others? You can email us, mailsack at irrationalpod.com. And send us an email that way. Or you can leave us a voicemail, 404-590-1337. And we'll listen to it on the show. Let's take some questions. We got some tweets. Got some sweet tweets.
Hit me with the twits.
Some twits are from Jake P47, Jake Palmer, my co-host in talking about Kingdom Hearts, and also my Destiny rating buddy. He says, how awesome is the fact that Red Dead Redemption 2 has dynamic horse pooping? Would you refer to this as an awesome fact, Tony?
I mean, would have been happier not knowing. There's only one Metal Gear horse that I need to poop on command.
Do it. It's true. I don't know, man. There are actual horse testicle physics in Red Dead Redemption 2.
All right.
If you look at your horse's balls in the snowy mountains, they're all shriveled up and close to the body. And
Seems like we're spending development time on things that you don't need to spend development time.
And if you look at the horse's balls down by the creek in the springtime, in the summer, nice and hanging loose. There's a good There's a good bit of that in the IGN video review. If you want to go look that up, that is where I first saw it, and I was like, all right, yeah, I don't know. In the spirit of talking about Red Dead, and really kind of giving the full image of it, Jason Schreier of Kotaku wrote an absolutely phenomenal article on what it's like to be a developer at Rockstar Games. In the kind of conversation about crunch and overtime and unpaid overtime and whatnot in video game developments. For me personally, Rockstar has been like just this big question mark in video game development. Like they're such a mystery, they're so secretive. To like finally have this big long thing of like, here's what it's like to work at a Rockstar. Here's what crunch is like there. Here's what overtime is like. And here's what that culture kind of inspires within that company. It's on Kotaku. It's very good. It took me about an hour to read it. I'm a pretty slow reader, but it is a hefty read. I highly recommend it. It is worth your time. Nicole at NMH2105 asks, having a spooky Saturday, sad to miss, but in the spirit of the season, what's your favorite scary movie? Ooh.
The one where Alex gets eaten by his own plants.
All right, come on.
That's a really good movie.
I don't like this fucked up fan fiction you guys are writing. It's gross. Scott, do you have a favorite scary movie?
I just said it. Jumanji.
All right, but do you have a real one?
Jumanji.
Ooh, Jumanji's a great answer. That movie fucked me up as a kid. Remember when those...
I said that like 6 times.
He did.
All right, fair enough. Remember
this is the specific edition where Alex gets inserted as the person that gets eaten by the plant.
Yeah, it's that part where the plants try to eat those people is fucked up. Tony, do you have a favorite scary movie?
I don't watch any scary movies, so I don't have a favorite.
Yeah, Jumanji's like not really a scary movie. It's just the closest thing I have. I don't watch them either.
Okay. I think we talked about this last week. I don't like horror movies either. I've seen a few. Boy, did I not like most of them.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a favorite scary movie. It's the only horror movie that I really like, off the top of my head at least, which is John Carpenter's The Thing. I think that movie is excellent. It's very like... Part of it is it's very hokey when you go back and look at it now. A lot of puppets in that movie. There's a part where like a head, a disembodied head spawns like crab legs and crawls around.
That sounds great.
And it's real silly, but it's also like it's all practical effects and there's no CG in that movie. And it's done really well. And so like part of it is just my appreciation of like, oh wow, like this is super well done. But also part of it is like there's the idea of The Thing is this alien can imitate anything in appearance. So it can imitate a person, et cetera, et cetera. So it's this psychological horror aspect of like, who's the thing? Like, where is it? Who is it right now?
Where's the detonator?
Where's the detonator? The Dark Knight Rises, truly the scariest movie of all time.
Truly.
All right. So, because we kind of don't have any scary movies,
Mhm.
we don't watch them. Would you rather just say why we don't like watching them?
Yeah, why don't you guys like scary movies? I'm curious.
I actually don't really have a good answer to this. I just have never liked them.
That's fair. Do you?
They're
I have
either
a
like
specific answer.
they're either like too stupid to be enjoyable,
Yeah.
or too predictable to be enjoyable, or too mind-numbingly freaky that I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they do a really good job of making you not give a shit about the characters in the movie. So it being a horror movie, you know bad shit's gonna happen to them. So you start rooting for it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't like being in that position.
Yeah. I think I'm a mixture of both of you guys as well. Like, predictability, really bums me out. Like I hate being like the asshole that's watching the movie and is like ruining it for everyone else. But like, I also like don't like being scared. So when I watched it wasn't Cabin in the Woods. It was some Evil Dead, like the Evil Dead remake, I think is what it was. With like my friend Ethan and like his girlfriend at the time and a friend of theirs. I'm just like, oh gosh, I wonder what's gonna be in here. Oh, and she's dead. And like I kept doing that the whole movie, and they were like so fucking pissed at me. I'm like, this is what happens. You wanted to hang out with me, and you're like, all right, we're gonna watch a horror movie. And I said, I don't want to watch a horror movie, and this is what you deserve.
Now you get this.
So yeah, like, and it's also like that.
You watch it, and every time a sewer's on scene, you just keep repeating, pull money, pull money, pull money.
Yeah,
pull
right,
money,
right.
pull money.
And it like
Hell yeah.
It's the thing of like, I don't care about any of these people. 1, 2, I am just like, I don't want to be scared, so I'm gonna try and play this off as humor, or I'm gonna keep talking. And 2 and 3, like I know what's going to happen. It's not true all the time, but again, like that's just they're not our thing. But to people out there that like them, more power to you. You know, do what you do. Barrett Courtney. At Sad Boy Barrett asks, if you had to fight to the death, what is the one video game weapon you would choose to fight with? I assume you're fighting to death, not necessarily one person, so he doesn't explicitly say who the opponent is, so keep that in mind. Leave it open-ended. What's your go-to weapon of choice, Scott? Any video game weapon.
Let's see.
Command
and Conquer like cannon.
Okay, that's a good choice.
It's a satellite laser.
It's like the Hammer of Dawn from Gears of War.
Yeah, it's like the hammer off from Gears of War.
Okay,
okay. Not even joking.
Yeah, got it. That's a good choice.
Except
Tony?
you don't use a gun.
I have one stupid answer and 2 good answers.
Okay, give me all.
Stupid answer, blue shell.
Hell yeah. The most OP.
The most OP.
That's good. That's a really good answer.
Real answer, the first probably be the Master Sword.
Yeah, I thought of that one too. That's good.
It's like a pretty good sword.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be bad at that.
Yeah, I wouldn't know how to use a sword.
Nah, dude, you just gotta channel the anime inside.
Yeah, it's true. What's the other real one?
Other real one would have to be the golden gun from
Goldeneye?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Good.
Everybody knows how fucking powerful that shit was.
Hell yeah. I like one that came to my mind, and it might have been because Barrett asked the question and he's a big fan of this game, but the Leviathan axe from God of War, very good.
What about
weapon.
the Blades of Chaos?
I like.
You know how many people Kratos kills with that?
Yeah, but like the Blades of Chaos come with that baggage of like the chains wrapped to your wrist, you know what I mean? And like they're burned into your skin and whatnot.
That's just one weapon, dude. You gotta commit.
That's why I say I would say probably the Leviathan axe. I think it is the act of tossing it and having it come back to you. It's like, ooh, yeah, that's good shit right there. But yeah, Master Sword's good too. The BFG classic, Hammer of Dawn classic. But yeah, I think the Leviathan axe.
Yeah, for me, it would definitely be the golden gun.
If we're going with non-WMDs, because that's what I picked.
That's absolutely fair, Scott.
That's absolutely what I picked.
Yeah.
I would take Dante's multi-weapon.
Ooh, that's a good answer. My thing is maybe Leviathan axe isn't the best answer because I don't know if I like want to brutalize the people I fight. Like I don't know, I might want like a more impersonal weapon like a gun or something that just like teleports them away or something. As opposed to like a weapon where I have to like rip them limb from limb. Like I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's a fight to the death. When you'd be teleporting them away, you wouldn't be teleporting all of them, and that's how they would die.
It's true. Teleport them into space. That's it for questions. Thanks everybody who sent them in. I appreciate all of you. we've reached the end of the show. As promised. It was a short one. Short and sweet, though.
All right, Sky, I have a question for you.
Okay.
All right.
If it was the end of the world and you could only have one League of Legends champion to accompany you through the end of the world, which one would it be?
Rammus.
Why?
He's
He's so boring.
Talk.
Yeah, wouldn't you want to talk to him though?
No.
All he ever says is okay. You'd be like, "Hey,
Perfect.
Rammus, I'm dying. Help!" You're like, "Okay." Like, Rammus,
Sounds good to me.
Rammus, I need to leave you. And you'd be like, "Okay." I don't know, man. I couldn't live with.
What about
a guy
you? Who would
never
you
fucking
take?
talked to. I don't know.
A collie?
No, she'd fucking kill me.
I would probably take Sona? That's the one that you made, right?
She can't speak or hear. Well, actually, no, she can hear, but that's it.
Yeah, but she can heal me.
Yeah.
So, like, if we're going to the end of the world, camaraderie and whatnot, man.
How you gonna talk to her?
I don't know. I'll learn sign language.
I don't know if Sona knows sign language.
We'll learn together.
I'd take Aurelian Soul because he'd make a new world.
All right, you fucking nerd.
He is a space dragon that creates stars. So
yeah.
did you recently? They posted like an Ask Riot. They do it weekly where like people will send questions and they answer them, and like sometimes they'll take silly questions. And one of the questions that someone asked was like, "If I were to pet Aurelian Soul, what would it feel like?" And they had a like 3-paragraph long explanation of how Aurelian Soul feels.
Dude, nice.
Yeah, dude.
How does he feel?
A lot of different ways.
Depends if you go against the grain or with it. Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
Thanks everybody for sending your questions in. Really appreciate all of you. Other things I'd like you to check out if you like the show, IrrationalPod.com is the place to be. It's where all the cool stuff is, and with it are other shows like Input, Get Acquainted, Video Game Book Club, what's Podcast Ultimate. I was gonna say, here I have a question for you, Scott. This is quick. It's Podcast Ultimate related. So the hottest rumor. Are you cool with me telling you what the most possible leak of Smash Brothers Ultimate is?
Yep.
Okay. There was a big leak possibly that happened. It has yet to be proven or disproven, so it's pretty much either way at this point. But the possibility is like this guy was like recording a Snapchat video and he panned over the big mosaic art piece of all the Ultimate characters, and it looked like it could possibly be a completed version of that with all the characters in it. Something like for holiday to go up in December when the game launches. So that's where this is coming from. Again, it hasn't been proven one way or the other, but there were 7 additional characters on this that have yet to be announced.
Hell yeah.
Which is exciting if it's true.
Give me them names.
So, characters are.
We did this a while ago, years ago.
Yeah.
Everything's fair game.
Yes, everything's fair game. I agree.
We did this for Smash Bros.
Yeah.
Smash Bros. Brawl.
It feels very reminiscent of the SRB leak that ousted the entire roster of Smash Wii U. So the 2 Echo characters, Ken and Shadow the Hedgehog, Ken from Street Fighter, which I think both are pretty reasonable. I think those could happen. The 5 new characters are, and I'll go from I guess like least interesting to most interesting. Let's say most of them are very interesting. So Gino, from Super Mario RPG, which would be rad. Chorus Kids from Rhythm Heaven Fever, which is like a super deep cut, which I think would be very cool. I don't even know how they would play. Mock Rider from Mock Rider. Isaac from Golden Sun, and Banjo-Kazooie from Banjo-Kazooie. Which, to be fair, like I know that seems like a bit of a stretch, mostly because it's a non-Japanese developed game, but So is like Donkey Kong Country and whatnot. But that's something that Phil Spencer has been the head of Xbox has been very out about, saying like, hey, we would love to do this. Just let us know. So I don't know. But what do you think, Scott?
I think that some of those are deep pools that don't seem fitting.
Okay.
This is in mind with Wii Fit Trainer still being a character.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know where I'm at with it. I've been going back and forth, so I want to believe it's real because I think those would all be very fun picks. But save for Shadow and Ken, but we'll see. We shall see. But Podcast Ultimate is a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate podcast where we talked for about 45 minutes about this very subject. So that episode should be out this coming week, and you can hear about it all. We had Peter Spezia from Show Me Your News on there. It was a great show. Everything else, Rational Passions, rationalpassions.com. We've reached the end of the show. It is time now for bets.
Bet!
There it is. Next week, on October 30th, Tuesday, October 30th, Dream Daddy Definitive Edition, or whatever subtitle it is coming out on PS4. I didn't even know about this.
Dad Definitive Edition.
Oh, Dad Definitive Edition would be fucking good. I hope it's that.
Can this be Irrational Passions Dad Definitive Edition as well?
Oh yeah, that is a very good title. But it comes out on PS4 on Tuesday. I didn't know it was coming to PS4. That's pretty cool. It's pretty exciting. What will the trophy percentage for the trophy Bad Dad be this time next week? The trophy you get for having sex with Robert on the first date. Which I like that there's a trophy for that.
That's a pretty good trophy. Yeah.
It sounds like a pretty good trophy. I thought a lot of them are like, do all the dates with this character, do all the dates with that character, et cetera, et cetera. So I was like, what is one that could be like done in a reasonable amount of time? And that seemed like the biggest standout. When you're ready, you can go ahead and type those out. I'm trying to think like what I would want my bet to be. I don't know.
Tell me when you got yours, because I've got mine.
I've got mine.
17.
I assumed we already posted. So
You're good. What did you say, Scott?
12.
I said 32%. I'm far more optimistic, I guess. Okay, that's a good spread. I said 32. Scott said 12. Tony said 17%. Cool. We'll see how that one pans out.
It's a multi-path game, and I don't think that a whole lot of people will be full-blown trophy hunting.
Yeah, I don't think so either. You guys are probably right. How many last week's bet? How many playable characters will be in My Hero Academia 1's Justice? Do you guys remember this bet?
Yeah,
I remember this bet.
I watched some streams of that game. It looks cool.
That game does look cool. I watched the Giant Bomb Quick League, and I was like, okay, this seems better than I thought. I've heard some people that actually like really dig it too. I think somebody's bringing it to Extra Life, so we'll play some there. I bet 24, Tony bet 20, Scott bet 28, Mike bet 21. The real number, do you remember, Tony?
How many people? I don't know. I didn't actually count the roster.
We were actually pretty close. There's one unlockable character, which is all for one, which I think is cool. You beat the story mode, you get it. Let me count them.
Yeah, that sounds right. You usually get like the head villain in a fighting game when you finish the story.
21 characters. Mike had it right on the number. We were all very close though. But so some of the characters I thought were cool. Like Muscular is a character, which I didn't even know that was like that dude's villain name.
Uh-huh.
And Aizawa and All Might are the only like pro heroes I think that are in it. But yeah, like
That makes sense.
yeah, Scott, you had it mostly right of like just a handful of people from Class A, and then essentially like the villains from season 3.
That's a huge bummer.
Yeah, I would have
'Cause
loved to
it's like,
see.
they give enough people from Class A screen time, and they give plenty of people from Class B screen time too. So it's a bit maybe it no, because if they go back to the point where they take down All Might, they definitely have enough room for, or not All Might, All for One.
Mm-hmm.
If that is where that story ends, then they have more than enough room to put in some people from Class B in there.
It looks like the first 3 DLC characters are announced. Inasa, Yorashi, who's like the cool wind guy. Endeavor, which I guess you get Endeavor for free if you pre-ordered it. And then Midoriya in his all for one full Calian shoot style, which is cool. But again, it's another Midoriya.
I know, but like that's weird.
Yeah.
Instead of it being a stance switch,
Yeah.
just on the same character, it's.
But to be fair, this is the first My Hero Academia video game of what I expect to be many. So we'll see.
Yeah.
They'll get better as they go. I'll say this too. I don't know if you felt this way either, Tony, but the way the characters like look and move is a little weird.
Little Dragon Ball.
It's a little like the way they're proportioned. I guess it's just
it really did remind me a lot of like a Budokai game.
Yeah, it reminded me like OG Budokai, like before Tenkaichi and whatnot. They're getting their feet wet. I think they're onto something, but I guess the biggest thing is it's weird to see these characters rendered in 3D. But I don't know. So that brings Team Nanashi up to a rock hard 44 points. And Team Bowsette / Peach Owser still rocking at 46 points. You got to update the name, or is it still good?
We're good. That meme is pretty prevalent.
Yeah, it's still going on. Y'all see Chompette?
It's pretty dead.
Chain Chompette?
I haven't seen it now.
It's what you think it is. That's the end of the show. Thanks everybody for listening. Next week is episode 400. We're gonna currently I don't have anything that I would like to do. That's too weird. I know Nobshin said he will be here for that. The week after that is Extra Life, which we will likely do a big round robin, like rotating people in and out podcast. We're going to record that on Friday, November 9th, as a heads up. We won't be recording that on Saturday because we'll be in the thick of it on Saturday. We'll see how that goes. But tune in next week. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be a celebration of Irrational Passions podcast, a show we've been doing for 8 years, almost 8.5. So tune in for that. Thank you to Danny Wiesner for opening music of Two Player Co-op and our closing music of The World is Saved. Thank you, everybody who tuned in live, whether it be bonus content or the podcast itself, or listened to the show. I appreciate all of you. Thank you, Tony and Scott, for joining me as always. I love you guys. Big hugs all the way around. I've been your host, Alex O'Neill. Play your game, stay rational. We'll talk to you all next week. Titles. Are we just gonna?
We're just gonna let it. We're gonna let it hang there.
Okay. I gotta look up and see if this is actually definitive edition. Whether it is or it isn't, it is.
Yeah, it's the definitive edition. This just is what it is.
I'm so bummed I didn't know that was coming out. Oh, it is a different pun that might be better.
What is it?
The dad rector's cut.
That's okay.
That's
It's not
all
as
right.
good.
It's no Dadfinitive edition, but it's pretty good. It would have been a missed opportunity if they didn't put
A dad pun.
a dad pun in there. It's so
Do
weird.
you think Dadfinitive edition was too obvious?
Maybe it's too safe.
Yeah.
After the Deathinitive edition from Darksiders 2.
Yeah.
There's also a game coming to Switch next week that's just called Gal Metal.
Gal metal. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Does it star the Japanese metal band Baby Metal?
I don't know. Hopefully. Titles. Tell me.
We already have it.
Yeah, it's the Dadfinitive edition. I wrote some other ones. I guess you just don't want to read them. That's fine.
We don't need those lesser titles.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have that $3.99 title on, so
That's true.
that definitive edition it is.
I'll say the title. Does one of you want to say the number?
It's only $3.99.
It's $3.99
Plus shipping and handling.
Plus shipping and handling.
plus tax.
No, we don't do tax.
No tax. Oh shit, tax free. Take that, fucking Trump. Oh man, I think that's the first time I said his name on this show, and I felt gross saying it. Ugh. Tony, you say the number. I believe in you.
Okay. This is the Irrational Passions Podcast, episode 390.
Dadfinitive edition. Where all dads come and all dads are welcome. I don't know. I realize all dads come was maybe a poor choice of words.
No, it wasn't. It was the best choice of words.
Thanks everybody for watching. Have a good night. Oh, my arm. My arm.